shadow. Don't you know? Don't you know? I fell for fool's gold. I fell for fool's gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fool's gold. I fell for fool's gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Oh, they say fools believe in it, so I guess I'm one of them. Oh, don't you know? I fell for fool's gold. I fell for fool's gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fool's gold. I fell for fool's gold. What did I know? does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight, because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a
All right, welcome, everyone. I will be your host tonight for the Overwatch Xbox Community Week 1. This is actually our newest tier for the community. This is Carbon tier match between Unacceptable and Veracity. I'll be your host, Swift63. Joining me tonight, the Ragin' Saiyan. Ragin', how are you, man? How you been this week?
Good, man. Watched a couple matches already. Waiting to go watch the All-Star game a little bit later on Overwatch League. Pretty excited about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. You actually know a little bit about one of these teams, right? You're kind of you help coach Unacceptable a little bit, right?
Correct, yeah. So originally what happened was is that I was part of the team, but then we dropped down to a lower tier because it was better for all the players. So now I coach them.
Yeah, it's that was a bit of a loaded question there. I knew I knew you were involved, but I wanted to bring up that in seasons past, the lowest tier that we had was Challenger tier. We've now introduced the Carbon tier to allow, players that traditionally maybe not didn't get picked up if they were in mid-high gold, something along those lines. Now they have an opportunity to really compete, and that's where both of these teams kind of enter into the mix. So pretty
Yeah, and I
excited.
find it really interesting because a lot of the times, especially in lower tiers, you see a different style of play just because it's so different from the difference between like silver, gold, plat, all the tiers, especially on ladder. So team play is especially different as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you'll see teams that may be on the low end of the SR range for their bracket, uh, but actually steamroll everybody because they have better communication and better teamwork than somebody who maybe
Yeah,
has,
yeah,
one or two players that are just solo queue all stars, but can't
yeah,
can't operate in a team
100%.
setting. So. Just a few housekeeping items, guys. If you're new to the channel, if you're just stopping by from a link on Reddit or maybe saw us on Twitter, check us out. There should be a couple of links down below to our Discord, links to our website. If you're not a part of the community, please join. We've got stuff to do for everyone. And check in tomorrow. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be hosting a Lucio Ball tournament. Myself, Salt and Pepper, Mean Green, and a few others will be streaming several matches concurrently. So stop on by. You don't want to miss that. Tonight, so again, if you're new to the community, we do always play best of 3 maps, but we always play all 3 maps because at the end of the season, your total map wins or your map differential ends up being the tiebreaker. So we will play all 3 maps tonight. The 3 maps we have in queue for you are going to be Dorado, starting off, Temple of Anubis up next, and then we're going to close it out on Oasis. So pretty excited to see both these teams. I haven't had the opportunity to see either of them play. Looks like we have all 6 in the lobby for both teams. I'm just going to check in with the captains real quick. Ragin, while I do that, can you give us a quick rundown? What do you expect to see on any of these maps? Any map in particular that you're excited about?
I feel like on Dorado, mostly it's the control of the high ground is going to be really interesting, because I know for a fact that like when it comes to lower tiers especially, it's hard to communicate that, especially when like either you're newer to the game or again you were in a lower skill tier. Keeping control of that high ground is really important, especially in higher tiers. So I feel like in lower tiers, if they take advantage of it, they'll have a really big advantage over the other team. When it comes to Temple of Anubis, though, I feel like it's one of the hardest maps to attack and also to defense, especially when the other team can maybe snowball it. What I mean by snowball is like having the getting some staggers or like late kills and just storming the point and fighting maybe like a 3v6 or a 4v6 by speeding onto the second point. But yeah, I think that Temple of Anubis and Dorado for sure are going to be really interesting. When it comes to Oasis, though, I'd say that it is more of a brawler type map. The map seems to be kind of smaller. A lot of times you see goats run on it. Goats being a 3-3 composition, so having 3 tanks, 3 supports. But for sure, I think that all the maps are very interesting picks. We shall see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's interesting because all 3 of these maps play very differently. So it's a very real possibility that somebody comes out, face rolls Dorado, and then just gets absolutely handled on Anubis. So we'll see how this goes out. Starting out here for us, though, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run down the rosters. You've got Unacceptable on the defense first off. So left to right, Lucy Willis is going to go ahead and run the Mercy for him. Blaze backing her up with the Zenyatta. On DPS, you've got Steve Zundies. We're just going to go with Steve. Steve running the Tracer and Bug Eyes on Farah. And then Mustard Ryan and Flat Pup running Diva Rissa, respectively. For the attack, support Stormlink's J-Junk running Moira Lucio. And then you've got Pylon Starkiller on Tracer Hanzo. Tanks for them are going to be Colombian and Noviak? Yeah, running Zarya Winston. So a bit of a dive here versus Pharmacy. So
should be interesting because they are running the farms, and it doesn't seem like they have a lot to deal with that besides the Hanzo if the Hanzo can hit his shots. But it seems like he couldn't exactly hit them right there.
Yeah, Winston on the high ground is going to try and take care of Bug Eyes, but a little too late. Gets 2 kills real quick on J-Junk there. Going to try and body the Tracer, going to get out. I think they might need a hit scan to deal with Bug Eyes up here, especially with the Pharah in his pocket. Yeah, he's just going to barrel stuff Stormlinks and drop him right there.
They are getting some cart distance though.
Ground Pharah is a dangerous game. Yeah, fight breaking out all over the place here.
Got punished for that. They are trying to get this cart distance though, for sure. Bug Eyes is punishing the spawn, but they're definitely getting some cart distance just because they're trying to push it really hard. Zarya behind the blue team, trying to kill the Diva.
Ooh, this Zarya is playing a dangerous game here. Colombian with just a sliver of health does get taken out by Mustard Rain. He's able to recall his mech. So a bit of a disjointed fight here. I gotta say, Ferocity is a little split here. You see they're trying to come back in here, and Zenoviak sets up shop on top of the payload, swap over to the Soldier. Oh,
ooh, nice stick.
Absolute massive pulse grenade from Steve. gets J-Junk Pylon, and then cleans up Stormlinks on the Moira. So they're down 3. Noviak gets the kill on Steve as he tries to finish him off. Both tanks left on payload.
Noviak's still in the back there.
Yep, pops Primal Rage just to get that Orisa off the high ground. Gonna dislodge that bunker, force him to fight on top of the payload here. Looks like Ferocity coming in strong. So you can go ahead and pop Coalescence, burns down Flat Pup. Ooh.
Nice barrage as well. Triple on that one.
Yeah, backdoor barrage.
Cleaning up the tanks too. Let's see if the Hanzo backs up. He really wants to get back with his team right now. If he gets staggered here, they could waste a bit more time on their card.
Yeah, I think they had the right idea. Ferocity came in properly. They popped the tempo ult from the Coalescence, try and push through the point, but Bug Eyes with the just shuts that down real quick in the back. Picks off the squishy supports.
They seem to be wanting to go for a more of a brawler comp to try to combat this Orisa.
Ooh, J-Junk gets the res, and then the Bubble of Justice from Colombian keeps them alive. So they're coming through here. They've lost both their DPS, so this is a 4-on-4 fight. You hear the bongo drum comes out from Flat Pup here in the back line.
Reinhardt comes from behind, though. Reinhardt and Zarya both behind the Orisa. They got punished for it, though.
Yeah, unacceptable. Not giving any ground here once they get into the courtyard. They are looking strong. And Zol Colombian, that's got to be like the 3rd time that he's died way after the rest of his team. That's going to cost him a ton of time.
Yeah. What they seem to be doing is they're trying to get an initial kill, and then from that kill try to snowball the fight. So that's what it seems to be. I feel like they're going for like a single kill or maybe 2 kills specifically, but they're trying to all focus one person. But the communication on the unacceptable side seems to be winning this out a bit.
Well, they seem to be engaging and securing kills.
Yes. Not a lot got from that barrage, but they do have gravity, so they might be able to use something with this.
Ooh.
Fight seems to be a bit split. Ooh,
Lucy gets caught out of position. They're going to go ahead and Coalescence right into that grab here. Yep. Yeah, they should be able to clean this up here. Oof. So I got to give them credit here. Stormlinks, recognizing that Lucy Willis was going to go for the res, try and pick Bug Eyes up, fades into her. So it doesn't have his escape, but just hard engages onto Lucy Willis and punishes her for that res. And then they pop the grab and are able just to steamroll out of it. So they get the first point. Wasn't the prettiest, but doesn't matter, right? Win's a win's a win.
Ooh.
So.
He's taking out okay. Oh, that's 2 kills already. They used the res though.
Yeah, so it's the 5-on-6 here.
Punishing the back. He doesn't seem to be getting a ton of kills, but he does at least disrupt them. Right?
Yeah. Mustard Rain just raining down, just kind of peppering some baby damage down from the high ground. D.Va not super effective at that range, but ooh.
Dragon's coming in through the middle.
I was about to say that Coalescent, that Transcendence was a little wasted, but he's going to throw Dragons right into the face of Trance. So maybe a bit of a miscommunication, probably a panic ult. Either way, that Trance did its job.
Both DPS down. Let's see if the tanks and the supports can hold up here. Shatter onto just the Ren so far. Orisa blocks it though.
Yeah, I wonder if that wasn't a bit of a miscommunication here. He flanks around, gets a good shatter, but drops the Zen. But there's just nobody there to follow up on it, and Zen just floats himself away.
Yeah, see here Noviak realizes that since they're down he can push up and be a little bit more aggressive, but they definitely still want to push the card. So taking the map control here and just pushing up and making sure they can get a bit more cart distance. Steve though in the back messing with the Reinhardt. Reinhardt actually going for a little bit coming back.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you don't even necessarily have to secure kills as Tracer to just have the presence, right? Let them know you're back there. I say as Steve gets the kill on Starkiller.
Okay, so they switch back to the Pharah here. They seem to be... Oh, they stabilized. Okay. So now red team has 30 seconds to stabilize and get back to the point.
Yeah, plenty of time for one more push. They just need to...
What
Go ahead, man.
Here is probably switching to a Lucio just to be able to get back to the point as fast as possible. They do have Valk here. They can initiate with it, and they can use Visor. So Hanzo seems to be going for cart. But he's a little bit out of position. He might get punished. Maybe not though. Valk comes in. They have dragons now, but Hanzo's dead though.
There's the transform Blaze, gonna just shut down this Visor here.
Ooh, okay. Bug Eyes takes out the Visor. And the barrage just up any.
Yeah, big.
Okay.
I gotta give credit to Blaze, just putting in work on that Zenyatta. He had a couple of frags there on a few pushes, just took Hanzo out in the back line, and then that Transcendence twice shut down the Grav and shut down Dragons.
100%.
Yeah, it's interesting. Ferocity came in with Moira Mercy, which is, you know, objectively that's a ton of heals per second, but there's no defensive ult. You know, like if there's really nothing to to save the team if they get in deep.
Yeah, and it seemed like the Coalescence was more used for damage than for healing, and I try to stray away from that as much as possible, just because when it comes to how much damage it does and how much healing it actually does double the amount of healing. So
yeah,
definitely using Coalescence as a defensive ult is okay. It's not as good as Trans, obviously, but it is okay. But I feel like it was more used offensively than anything else there.
Yeah, and I mean, you can do either. The big thing is that if you're going to use it offensively, you need to, especially in dive, which they were running, you know, you just want to make sure your tanks are on the same page. So, that said, they were able to push payload within a couple of meters of point 2. There's a lot of game left to play here. I've seen matches lose, you know, won and lost on this first turn.
100%.
So, we'll see what they end up setting up with. Bit of a different comp here for Ferocity. So you see Stormlink swapping over from support to DPS spot on Soldier. J-Junk's going to run the Brig for him. And then Starkiller's actually going to play Moira. For tanks, the old Colombian's going to actually play the main tank here on Orisa and let Noviak play Roadhog. And then Pylon back on that.
Right.
Back on the tried and true Tracer. For the attack, I'm going to assume at this point that this comp's going to stay pretty much the same. This is exactly what they ran the last time. The only change here is they swapped Flat Pup from Orisa over to Winston. So pretty much full dive here from Unacceptable. I'm interested to see. Yep, Bugs wasting no time. Going to try and get the boop off the high ground. But the Hook of Justice from Noviak just shuts that down in its tracks here. Bit of a Tracer duel happening on the low ground.
Dueling a bit.
Ooh.
Trying to go for Force, gets punished for it, but he's getting chased down.
Yeah.
His team comes in to support him. I like the Brig pick here just because it seems like they're worried about the Tracer a bit, but I do think that the Brig can't do much from high ground. She'd have to drop down like that. She'd have to drop down to do any real damage to anybody.
Yeah.
And now she's out of position.
Yeah. I was going to say Flat Pup, Mustard Rain doing their job, forcing Ferocity off the high ground into brawl in streets where they want them to be. They are just having their way with this defense here.
I would suggest, with running this comp on defense, I would say definitely trying to run that Zen Mercy that Unacceptable is running originally, just because the Zen can kind of pressure any type of, whether it be flanker, whether it be a Pharah that they're having an issue with that they know about, just because he can get that long range. The Brig didn't really have anything that she could do about it, right? So she can fight on point, but usually if you're running the Orisa Hogs, you don't want to fight on point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Pharah just pretty much just hard counters Brig. She's literally can't do anything against it. And if Bug Eyes is going to continue to land body shots like this, it's not a lot to be done. So he gets the body on Stormlinks, almost gets Starkiller before he fades out of there. He's going to go ahead and take out J-Junk. Excuse me, Blaze with the Orbs of Destruction coming in, finishing it up.
Double. On both supports. Nice.
Yeah. Flat Pup.
And you can see the Tracer's still just disrupting. She hasn't gotten a ton of kills, but she has disrupted them enough where they've split up and comms are scrambled and they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Unacceptable.
They have one on cart.
Unacceptable's got their foot on the gas pedal and they're not letting up. To their detriment, though, they completely forgot about the payload there for a second.
Yeah. And see, this is what I was talking about before, is pushing up and taking this map control just to make it so that the red team can't even stop the cart. They have to fight from that long distance, right?
Yep. They're just taking space and denying the map to to Ferocity here.
Mustard taking a lot of damage here.
Ooh.
He's trying to show him he doesn't care.
Blaze saying not today.
Steve's still in the back. Slippery Tracer.
Yeah, so the defense looks like it's actually able to hold here while Tracer was occupying the supports in the back. The DPS from Ferocity were able to just pick out and burn down the tanks for Unacceptable and hold this first corner. So 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Visor, Bongo Drum, Coalescence, and Whole Hog in the pocket for the defense. But a lot in the tank for Unacceptable. They're sitting on Barrage, sitting on Self-Destruct. They've got Trance, Valkyrie, and Primal Rage. So plenty of time left.
Here's the issue at this point here, right? So with how the cart is positioned currently, it's hard for the defense to do anything really, just because they're in this sort of box, right? Because if they go on, if Unacceptable goes on the high ground as they did and drop down straight onto the team, there isn't much they can do. So a lot of ults being used in this fight. A lot of ults.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 come out from Unacceptable. We have maybe just 2. Okay, now 3 come out from the red team.
Yeah.
Brig and Tracer coming back, seeing if they can actually contest this. Let's see. Okay, Tracer gets the support. Blaze still fragging.
That's a big pulse grenade on Blaze.
Blaze gets taken out.
He gets taken out with Trance in his pocket. If they get repelled here, Whole Hog from Zoviac gets flat pop, but big kills from Steve.
Self-destruct here. Ooh, Steve getting 3. They might be able to. Oh, Steve getting 4. If they can get this Brig, and then they're good.
Yep. Try and boop him off point here. Half a meter to go.
Is giving them a chance to come back to him. Now they switch off Wrecking. They switch the Wrecking Ball off of the Roadhog here.
Pylons gets a kill on Lucy in the back line. No mercy for Unacceptable.
Seems like Unacceptable's comms got staggered a bit there. They weren't sure exactly what was going on, who to focus. They might want to come back here, but they might have to come back in full force. If they go now, they might just get staggered again.
Yep. You see Steve going hunting in the back line. He's going to go ahead and take out Stormlink, so no soldier for Ferocity here.
Bug-Eye's sitting on that. He's about to have...
Oh my god.
Steve's in the back with the pulse bomb. Now they're about to have Barrage. They have Barrage. Let's see if they use it here. Might not need to, actually. Let's see if they can get this hamster off.
Stabilizing Trance comes in just to keep everyone topped off from Unacceptable.
At this point, all they have to do is keep them on the cart. They don't have to frag. Let's see if they can.
Yeah, only 50 seconds left. They've done a hell of a job so far. Just stalling this point out. Bug-Eye's with Barrage in his back pocket here. And there it comes.
Never mind. Let's see if they need the self-destruct for this fight. They might have to use it. Maybe not. Let's see if the soldier can... Ooh, this might be bad for him.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's see.
And that'll be it right there. 30 seconds left. An impressive hold from Ferocity, but a little too late.
Yeah, it's a very hard place to hold there. Just because you have that U-shaped high ground that the attacking team can take advantage of. It's pretty much just a giant kill box. So, keeping in mind that, you just have to make sure that you keep some sort of control of the high ground, which I don't think they were able to take control of. Especially with the comp that they were running.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard for them.
Well, I mean, so what was impressive there is when both teams had their. It seemed like they were working as a unit and they were moving around the map and coordinating. Both teams seemed absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
But there were also moments where both.
I feel
teams,
like both were stronger on attack.
Yep.
Sure.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. Oh man, this is going to be a good series. So, map 1, Unacceptable takes map 1 from Ferocity by a hair. So second map, Temple of Anubis, coming up soon. Give us just a second, checking with the captains, make sure there's no subs coming out, and we'll be right back with you.
They say fools believe in it, so I guess I'm one of them. Don't you know? I
All right, welcome back. We've just gotten the green light from both teams, so we're going to go ahead and load up Temple of Anubis here. This is another phenomenal map for Farah, right? So wouldn't be surprised to see Bug Eyes busted out on first point. We do swap attack and defense, so we saw Unacceptable defend the first time on Dorado. So they're going to get an opportunity to attack first, and we're going to see Ferocity try and hold the line on them the first time round. A couple of swaps coming in here. We did sub in, Better Nature for Unacceptable. So a couple of changes here. Interested to see what Better Nature plays. We'll set up the lineups here. Before we get into it, though, Rage and Saiyan, you were talking about Anubis and kind of the pregame. Remind me, what were you saying about Anubis?
So the one thing that I find about Anubis is that it's one of the hardest to attack and defend at the same time for different reasons. On defense and attack both, you have to deal with a lot of architecture and a lot of walls. So like when it comes to Pharah, if you run a Pharah on defense, it's good for her because she has a lot to hide behind. But at the same time, it makes it very easy to know exactly where the Pharah is because she can't really shoot from anywhere specific. So when it comes to like trying to find her, she'll be in really predictable positions because she can't shoot from certain areas, right?
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is very much a map where attack wants to brawl and defense doesn't want to brawl. So you want the long range on defense and you want the close range on attack.
Well, Unacceptable's bringing the close range here, assuming this comp holds. Looks like they're going to run a bit of goats here, triple support, triple tank. So Lucy Willis, Blaze running Mercy, Lucio. And then you see here Bug Eyes is actually going to run Brig for him. So it's going to be interesting because they're also running Diva, Rhine, Zarya. Now, the defense, this looks a little more familiar, right? Stormlink's on Moira, J-Junk on Lucio. Pylon's going to run McCree. Starkiller on that Junkrat. Ooh.
Stop moving. Is that a disconnect? I feel like that might be a disconnect. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, interesting. Well, either way, red team pushing straight to point.
Yeah.
Right on point here. They're getting 2 kills there. Let's see.
Yeah. To your point, Unacceptable wants to get in close, and they're wasting no time. Pop speed boost, push straight to point. They're going to brawl on top of point A. Yeah, a few of them try to get out. Stormlinks tries to disengage, gets caught by the whip shot. Bug Eyes, a friggin' sniper with some of these projectiles, but...
Oof. Yeah, and definitely on attack, you're going to want to take an early fight on second point. Especially with that speed boost and that just like aggression. Just like not let the enemy team understand exactly what's going on so that you can just completely steamroll them, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want them to understand what's going on. You want their comms to be scrambled, right? Ooh, really risky bomb here. Oof, okay. Okay, so they used a double coalescence here. It seems like blue team is finding it hard to stabilize here. Red team is using a lot of bolts here, right? So blue team popping the supercharger, also popping that bomb. Gets one of that. I feel like Lucio is getting picked out. See if this tire gets anything.
Ooh, Grab catches J-Junk here. They're going to go ahead and clean that out. Fat Shatter from Flat Pup lands it on the Diva. Yeah, it looks like that might be all she wrote.
Extremely aggressively. Let's see. Tracer has been getting a lot of kills here, though. Let's see what she can do. Here, red team already has 2 ticks, though. Just keeping them off the point here is what they want. Even if they lose this, they still have 5 minutes to get 1 tick.
Nope.
Right.
They have spawn advantage, but they're going to progressively get longer and longer spawns.
Yeah, and on top of that, here red team can just kill bolts.
Coalescence comes out. Bug Eye with Rally, just trying to push in here and disrupt this bunker. Gonna do a pretty good job. Gets the kill on Blaze, so no Lucio for the attack here. Better Nature goes down pretty quickly thereafter. Steve Undies gets demeched here, tries to use the bomb to get back in, but Pylons cleans that up. So big hold here coming in from Ferocity. Hold him at 71%, leaves the door open. But 5 minutes left on the clock. And I think this goes into what you were saying before about Some frustrating map to attack and defend on, right? A lot of architecture on the second point, and if you don't combo your ult, so you don't have a clear win condition like Grav Pulse, maybe a Dragon, something along those lines, this last fight can really drag out a long time.
Yeah, and a lot of the time I think that really for this, and I was just about to start saying, the fact that you...
Oh my goodness. Oh, the hero tire comes out from Starkiller and drops 3, lose 2 tanks and a support on that. And that's big because J-Junk had Sound Barrier in his pocket. Ferocity doing what they can just to try and get out. Excuse me, Unacceptable doing what they can just to try and get out. Steve Undies gets pinned and he is going to get demeched here. So it's gonna be a crucial stagger if he goes down. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. So go ahead and chalk that up. It's going to be another 30-40 seconds off the clock before they're able to get the full 6-man strength back.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I was saying before is like...
But they're not going to wait.
Attacking? Oh no, they are not. They don't care. They're pushing in with speed boost. Big Shatter though, gets 2 on that.
Ooh, the counter pin.
Okay. They do have a grab here. Let's see if they want to use it. Oh, they couldn't use it.
No,
They died.
Better Nature goes down with Grav in his pocket. Sound Barrier comes out from Blaze as he re-enters the fight here, and they're going to try and just push onto this point. 2 big kills, and they're going to even the playing field here. 4 on 4. Ooh, I say as both Lucy Willis and J-Junk go down. Shatter comes out from Flat Pop. Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and clean up 2 on it.
Let's see if they can clean up the more. They clean up the more, and they're okay. Oh, Tracer's still there though. Pulse Bomb gets both tanks. Ooh.
There comes the tire from Spawn.
Even now running around.
Yeah. Big shout out to Stormlinks here. He faded onto the point as they were capping it, just to try and put a body on, keep the contest alive, prevent any more percentage points going up. This is going to be huge.
So
Coming
in
in.
this next fight, they have Grab and Bomb.
Dude, reading my mind. I was about to say the exact same thing. That should be their win condition. They should be trying to play around the Grab Diva Bomb. I'm interested to see what they do. They've got Sound Barrier on the defense from J-Junk.
Right, yeah. Running this Zarya into a jump shot is really good just because you get a lot of charge, for, especially when you're just getting to the point, right? So,
Oh my god.
the big one on these all these supports, like,
And that's going to just clean that up right here.
3 supports, 1 swing. Oh, it's crazy.
Jesus, this is Noviak is just playing like an absolute lunatic right now. Drops the Shatter, already 50% to another one. 5 minutes on the clock when they pushed on and got the first 71% of this point. They've stalled this out. 2 minutes left, and they've gotten another 2%. A lot of time left to play. They still have... Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I think when it comes to pushing into the second point, it's really hard to fight unless you initiate with some sort of ultimate, right? So I feel like every single time you push on a point, you have to initiate something. Ooh, they use a grab here. Let's see if they use the bomb. Yes, they do. Let's see if they get it. That's double with the bomb. Okay.
Oh my god, absolutely massive. And they're going to pop Sound Barrier just to try and stabilize.
Let's see if they can get this. They're speeding on the point. Tracer died. That's 1 point.
An impressive hold from Ferocity. That's tough, man. Over 5 minutes in the bank when that first push comes in. That's a tough hold, and for them to get it down to a minute and a half is respectable. Because now, with only a minute and a half left, they don't even have to. They can take their time here. They complete the map with a minute left, and they're back on even playing field, right? So,
yep.
This is still very much so anyone's game. I'm interested to see what they run on defense, because they can't really run that GOATS comp on defense.
Ooh, Bug Eyes going back another fire. Let's see how they do. Bug Eyes has been popping off on that fair all night.
Yeah, Blaze on the Ana. We'll see if that holds here. I do want to point out Pylon started out on McCree last time and then swapped over to that Tracer that he was running so effectively last round. Yeah, so it looks like this is the comp Unacceptable is going to come out on the defense with. So Lucy Willis running Mercy, Blaze on Ana for him, and then Steve Undies running Junkrat. The tanks are going to be Better Nature and Flat Pup running Diva, Orisa respectively, and then Bug Eyes back on Old Faithful running the Pharaoh. Yeah, since the attack's
I
not
like
done
the
any
double
swaps
burst
here.
damage here.
The double boost damage.
I definitely like the double burst damage. So having the Junkrat and the Pharah being able to burst through a ton of healing. So if the enemy team were to run a Goats comp or a triple tank comp, they'd be able to burst through that. Or at least be able to burst through to the supports and be able to get rid of them so that the tanks didn't have any support, right?
Yeah.
I like the Ana pick here as well, just because you have that long range that you can kind of deal with from there. And if they were to run dive, then a Zen wouldn't be able to be as protected as an Ana can by herself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm in the camp that you got to have a defensive ult. You know, sound barrier, trance. They're just so powerful, and neither team have them.
Yeah, for sure.
That said, looks like they're going to run a bit of a modified brawl comp here coming in from Ferocity. They've got the Brig along with, I say as both their DPS go down and they lose their Mercy. So they've got the hit scan here. Pylons ran an effective McCree.
So here what I'm seeing happen is that Ferocity isn't really focusing the healers too much. Bug-Eye's using the burst damage to just be able to just stagger them out, shoot them while they're in that right side kill box by the mini, right? Just shooting into there and just like hoping and praying, right? But I definitely think that focusing the healers in this kind of composition, especially when they have two main healers, is going to be a key strat here for them, right? So Ryan holding up the shield to try to get his whole team through to the right side, or the left side, sorry, for attackers.
Yeah.
But
So,
definitely going into this right side, you're against this bar and this Junkrat. You have to be really careful. Right? Justice coming in, taking out both supports and both tanks. Ooh.
yeah. Yeah, Pylons does get the kill on Bug-Eyes, but a little too late. It's almost like they kind of lost track of their sound cues. You know, you could hear the jump jets going just above the Mercy, but no, it's okay though. I mean, they got the barrage out of the Pharah. They didn't really invest anything else of their own. They've got Shatter in their back pocket. That Junkrat Tire is going to go hunting here in the back line, and it gets taken out pretty quickly. Pylon's doing a good job. Yeah, doing a great job taking the Junkrat Tire out.
So here they have a couple ultimates coming in here, right? They have
okay. Big kill from from Pylons.
Bring Starkiller with them. Nano boosted Orisa on the point. See how it goes. So they definitely have realized that they have to fight this point to be able to win this square. So they're pushing really hard on the point, making sure that they take care of the That's two with that bomb. Ooh. They were kind of in the corner, there wasn't much they could do there. It seems like Ferocity needs to reset here. They only have a minute. They have to come back.
Yeah, so what I was noticing, we were spectating Pylons there from the stream view, and he was landing his shots, he was landing the headshots, but target priority seemed to be a bit of an issue. You know, Mercy and Ana were both on screen, and the damage is going into flat pup. You know, you're gonna have a hell of a time dropping a pocketed Orisa, regardless of what champion you're running. So that may speak to a little of the miscommunication, a little differentiation in the comms.
Ooh, there goes the bomb. Let's see where it goes. Ooh,
oh my god! Takes out two.
Focusing on the Orisa really hard, see if this Justice gets anything. Ooh, Justice only gets one. Ooh,
Blaze lands the sleep dart on the mech in the back.
They use the tire to get two tanks.
Baby Diva's the only one. What is this world, man?
Let's see if Diva can get back and make sure that they can't get more.
Yeah, they're gonna get point two, so see, like, they got J-Junk dueling the Mercy here in the back.
See, the rest of the team can get here now. Flap up, fighting the choke, making sure they can't come through. And
Shatter right into the back of the Orisa barrier.
Ooh, charge right into the wall. A lot of blue on the left side of the kill feed. Okay. Stevie trying to pelt down, but it's not going to do much.
Ooh, Starkiller is going to get
reset with his team.
Yeah, that's a big stagger there for
Steve
Undies.
That's good. Nowzl's going to try to have to get his net back as much as possible, just so. Ooh.
What?
Stagger
What?
going on. He was pressuring a little bit too hard, but didn't
Oh my God.
Didn't get any support.
Trying to poke a fire strike down range with 14 health will do that to you. So
Star Killer left side got Bug Eyes out. So now it's a 5v6 here, and they're trying to rush the point as fast as they can. Ooh, Star Killer got taken out by the Orisa though.
gets a little too far out in front.
Nice Demon Bomb here. See if they can pressure it. We got him off the point. Let's see, now Junkrat pelting down on top of him. Bug Eye's still back into the fight. Let's see if we can stabilize this. Nice, good stuff. Baby Diva finally got a neck back. Might get taken away as soon as it came back. Let's see. Yep. Let's see if they stagger her. Yep, they boop her away, so get out of here. Ooh, the Orisa prays a little bit too aggressively there without a shield. But she does leave her shield up so that the team can stay protected. They use a tire here to see if they can keep them from pushing once more. Ooh, they get the Lucio with that one.
So J-Junk is going to go down. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Plenty of time on the clock, though. 2.5 minutes to go. They've got Deadeye. They've got Dragons. They've got Shatter in their pocket. And then Lucy Willis has been hanging on to Valkyrie here for just a hot second. So plenty of ults at their disposal if they can just kind of put them together, get this push going once J-Junk is back with the team. The defense, not really a whole lot to speak of.
Pushing
They've got
Dragons to split them.
Ooh. Lucy Willis does have Valk on the defense. Fat Shatter comes out. He lands the kill on Steve Undies.
It's a really good justice there, getting 4 with that one. 5 if you count the even.
I don't even understand. They're just losing track of where Bug Eyes is on this Pharah, man.
Blaze still popping off, killing out everybody. Not caring, staying in the back.
Yeah, they. It's like they kind of. Interesting. The only thing, the good thing here is they really invested Dragons in Shadow. They've still got High Noon. They've still got the Diva Bomb.
Yeah.
They have managed to build up Sound Barrier this time around, so the swap over to J-Junk on the barrier is going to be crucial here for them. And they did not invest Valkyrie, so still winning the ult economy battle.
Star Killer though.
Minute and a half on the clock,
100%.
plenty of time.
Yeah. Ryan
Whoa.
going in for a bit of a Narnia burst there. Bomb coming in though. Let's see if we can get anything. Ooh, they called that.
Wow, it's almost like they're split. You know, it's you got Ryan charging in alone, Diva Bomb coming out with nobody on point, and then a couple getting caught in the hallway
right
here.
side by himself.
Yeah.
Still pushing point. Don't know why. Probably just trying to kill.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of time here. They're not in
Rush everyone
panic
back.
mode yet. They could fall back and regroup
Yeah.
with the team. 50 seconds on the clock. They still have Deadeye, still got Sound Barrier. Starkiller does get picked by Bug Eyes, but does get rezzed. Oh,
Bug
before
Eyes cleaning it up again. Just making
before
sure
landing the
saying,
body
"You're gonna
shots,
stay
just
dead."
puts him in the grave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys might get taken out by Pylon here. Not gonna happen though. I think Bug Eyes keeping this left flank is very important. Just because they seem to keep pushing this way, but he can scout it every time that they show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tire coming out, seeing if they can stop this next push again. Ooh, gets the baby Diva. Good thing is the Diva can come back with some knife if they can speed back into this. They do still have a few ults to push this stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
So they're
but
gonna
Bug Eyes
try
does
and come
have
in
a
through
rush,
here this
and
left
has
side.
proven an issue for them. Justice in the back. Make sure that Mercy stays dead. She kills off the Mercy as she uses Valk.
Oh man.
Very
And
sad here for the Roots.
Pylons doesn't get a chance to
gonna
Deadeye
cost
at all. He's been holding on to
Yeah,
Deadeye
boost the
since
Junkrat. What
since
else
they
could
took
you
first
do?
point. Brutal. Woo, buddy. Yeah, this is going to be a beautiful
Telling
shatter.
me It was the swing on the triple support right there. One swing, 3 down. Charges in, almost gets his arm. And just cleans it up with the tracer there. Good stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, man. Yeah, this is gonna be tough sledding if Ferocity's not gonna be able to find a counter, find an answer for Bug Eyes on that Pharah, because Oasis is is no nicer of a map to teams that struggle against Pharah. I this third map of the night is going to be Oasis, even though Unacceptable's taking the first two maps and they are up 2-0 on Ferocity. In the OXC, we do play all three maps just to make sure we have all the map wins accounted for. So give us just a second. We're going to check in with the captains before we take a break. Rajan, any final words? Any thoughts on Anubis?
Anubis is hard to attack and very hard to defend. Always has been.
I feel like we've heard that somewhere before.
Just a couple times.
All right, we're going to check in with the captains. We'll be right back with you guys.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gone. myself, but I don't wanna let you know. Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something, chasing the sun. All those days trying to find a place where you make them just be alone, be alone. All those nights lying by your side, like it's a vibe, feeling it shine under your spotlight. Like it's a vibe under your spotlight. That's the way every day goes. Looking back, I know we started falling. We were falling in love, yeah. Took my heart and you rode off. Was a feeling never enough for you, baby? When you left me chasing you, chasing you. Trying to find a place where we can be alone. All those nights lying by your side, like it's a vibe, feeling it shine under your spotlight. A place where you make them just be alone. Like it's a vibe under your spotlight.
All right, and we're back. We're in the process right now of checking in with both captains. It looks like Ferocity may be experiencing some technical difficulties. A few other players are having some disconnect issues. I think we saw it there. Raging, I think we saw it there at the beginning of that map when their main tank
Yeah.
kind of got stuck over on the edge and wasn't moving for a few seconds. So it looks like that seems to be a little pervasive right now. Here in the Overwatch Xbox community, teams do get a 3-minute DC window just to kind of keep things moving. We want to be cognizant of everyone's time. So yeah, it looks like we just had another disconnect from Ferocity. So looks like this is going to be it. Unacceptable is going to take the 3-0 win. 2 maps very well played, and then unfortunately the forfeit on Oasis. So we're not going to get to see that map. Still some pretty good gameplay here. This is only week 1. Lot of Overwatch left to play. Last season, I think the teams that made it into the playoffs finished the season 6-3, 6-4. So a lot of games left to play. 1 loss in the first week doesn't necessarily count you out by any stretch of the imagination. I think there was a lot of good things to take away here. Some things to work on for both teams. A lot of opportunity here, but a lot to hang your hat on. I think both teams played really well on Dorado. Both teams attacked incredibly well on on Anubis. So a few things here in the Overwatch Xbox community. One of the things I like to do is always pick out kind of an MVP for both casters for the match. So Ragin, who'd you give the Ragin star to?
I gotta give it to Pylons. I think that he realized opportunity a lot of the time, especially when it came to his tracer play. He was disrupting, and 2, on top of that, he was getting a lot of key kills onto supports and also tanks at some points. I feel like he got, out of the entire server, got the most pulse bomb kills that were very, very valuable. And on top of that, his McCree game was on point. Bug Eyes actually had to pull back a bit on that Pharah just so he could stay alive a lot more. So getting those key kills, getting those valuable just moments where you can take advantage of certain fights is extremely key, especially when it comes to the DPS slot.
No, I'd agree completely. I mean, we spend a lot of the night talking about Bug Eyes fragging out on the Pharah, but that doesn't happen. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tip my hand here. I think I'm going to give the Swift Star to Blaze, because I don't think Bug Eyes being propped up and being allowed to frag like that happens without the supports in his back pocket keeping him topped up. Pharah left out in the cold isn't really anything without the Zen Discords to close out those kills, and the Harmony keeping him topped off with the Mercy pocket. So I'm going to give the Swift Star to Blaze for much the same reason.
Too.
Yeah, the
Ana
play
on Anubis was extremely interesting too.
and the Transcendence from Blaze literally saved point 2 on Dorado twice. So they held within half a meter on Dorado for I think 3 minutes, and twice saved them with the trance from Dragons, and then again from Grav shortly thereafter. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Blaze. Closing comments. Thank you for hanging out with us, guys. It's been a great night. We've got a couple of matches coming up a little later this evening. I think we've got a match going on right now at 8 o'clock on our boy Garlic Toast's Twitch. Give him a quick search, check him out, and then there's 2 matches coming up at 9:30 tonight. So a lot of Overwatch going on in the Overwatch Xbox community this evening. Again, all of those matches are posted in our Discord down below. Pop in, say hi. If you got any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message, Swift63, or reach out to Rage and Saiyan on Xbox. We'll get you all squared away. With that, before we sign off, any final thoughts, Rajan?
I think the one thing that both teams can take from this is definitely try to not get staggered as much. Playing as a team is one of the biggest things when it comes to, especially the lowest tier. Not to discredit them in any way or shape or form, but definitely getting staggers on the opposite team is very good. But when it happens to you, it can lose you fights. It can lose you games. So trying to stay together as a team and making sure that you are fighting a fight that you know you can win, or at least you have a chance of winning, and making sure not to go in when you don't think you have a chance. So just keeping in mind when you can win and when you can't win, and how you can win, right? So
yeah, no, I'd agree.
Take away from this.
Win condition is huge. So thanks for sticking around with us, guys. It's been great. I've been Swift. With me has been Rage and Saiyan. Have a good night, and keep gaming. Bye.
Feeling so hollow, don't you know? And don't you know? I'm living in shadow, don't you know? And don't you know? I fell for fools gold, I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? I fell for fools gold, I fell for fools gold. What did I know? What did I know? You were fool's gold. Yes, I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. And I did it all for love. Yes, I did it all for love. Oh, they say fools believe in it, so I guess I'm one of them. Oh, don't you know? I fell for fools gold, I fell for fools